Hey yo, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel. I appreciate y'all being here as always. Today I want to talk about something that a lot of people struggle with but don't really talk about, and that's depression and how leaning into like your goals can help you push past those feelings of depression. And now when I say depression, I'm not necessarily talking about, I'm really not talking about clinical depression. Like if you've been clinically diagnosed with depression, then that's something totally different than what I'm talking about, and you should seek and get the help that you need. But what I'm really talking about in this video is depression in the sense of feeling stuck or unmotivated, right? Or even hopeless, like you're feeling nihilistic in some sorts. Now I know, when you're feeling like that, when you're feeling low and unmotivated, the last thing you really want to hear is like be more productive or, just work harder, right? Because if we're being honest, when you're feeling like that, when you're in that dark place, even small tasks can feel overwhelming, right? I know when I was in that dark place a few years ago, my dark place, I didn't feel like doing anything. I didn't want to be productive. I didn't want to get out of bed, man. I just wanted to sleep the shit away, and it don't work like that. So that's what we're going to talk about in this video, man. How depression makes us feel stuck, why, your goals and productivity can help you shift your mindset. We're going to talk about practical steps into taking action, even when you don't really feel like it, like a lot of us do when we get in that spot. And how small wins can just create a ripple effect of momentum, right? So first, let's talk about why depression makes it hard to take action. When you're struggling with depression, we start to dwell in those emotions, and we start to think like, what's the point? Like, what's the point of even doing anything? Or like, why try it? It's not going to make a difference, right? We start to think like that. We start to have those type of thoughts that kind of create inactivity, and the thing is, it creates a cycle, because when you don't take action, you start to feel worse, and then you feel worse, so you take even less action, right? And before you know it, you just get stuck in this loop of inactivity and low energy and self-doubt and low self-worth, and it just continues. It's like a continuous cycle when you do that. But the key is motion actually creates positive emotion, right? So when you start moving towards your goals and leaning into them, your brain wakes up and it releases dopamine, which is like the motivational chemical, and that makes us want to do more, right? And then you slowly start breaking the cycle of the inactivity. So you don't really need motivation to start, but you need to start just to feel motivated, if that makes sense. Now, when you have a goal or something to like work towards, it gives your brain a target. Instead of focusing on like your negative thoughts, you start to shift your focus to possibility. Like even if it's like a small goal, like it gives you a reason to get out of bed every day. It gives you the direction and structure in your daily life. The little wins start to help you build your confidence back up, and it gives you something to look forward to, right? And you don't need to have it all figured out. Your goal doesn't have to be life-changing or grandiose in any sense of the imagination. It just has to be something that moves you forward little by little. All right. So now we know goals can help you, even if we don't feel like, we know goals can help you. But your question may be like, what if you still don't feel like doing anything, right? Well, there's a couple of tricks that can help you with that. Now, first thing you can do is lower the bar. Stop trying to like do everything at once. Stop trying to like break that goal down into smaller steps. Do something small. Like let's say you want to exercise and you're not feeling like yourself. You might not want to go to the gym, but you can get down and do 10 push-ups, do 10 sit-ups, do something small. And that'll help build that momentum. Just do 5 minutes of, exercise. You know, you're trying to read the book that you need to read, a study, man. Read that one page. Start like that. Start small. And that's gonna break the cycle of inactivity and inaction. Excuse me. The second thing you can do is create a non-negotiable habit that you're gonna do every day, no matter what. You know, pick one thing you do, something small that you're gonna do every single day. Whether it's like, if it could be making your bed, getting out of bed, making your bed. I know when we get into those dark places and we start to feel in a rut, we start to neglect our environment sometimes, our living environment, and it starts to get messy and unorganized, and we start to neglect our chores in a sense. Or some of us might do that, and you might not make your bed. So if you get out of bed, make your bed. That can be one small step in the right direction. That's going to help you feel a little bit more productive. You know, it seems like something small, but that's going to help you get your day started in the right direction. So do something like that. Make that a non-negotiable. Get up every day, man. Don't leave no dishes in the sink. That's going to be something small that you do every day. Third thing you can do is use what we call the 5-second rule, right? I know when I was in that dark place, I didn't want to get out of bed, like I was saying. I just wanted to lay around and sleep it away. But if you use the 5-second rule, you just count down from 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. When you hit 1, move, jump out of bed, get your blood flowing. What that's gonna do is gonna trick your brain. You know, it's gonna break that hesitation. It's gonna make you act before your brain is ready to act. And that's gonna break the hesitation. It's gonna force you into action. And the fourth and final thing I would say is to track your progress. Always track your progress. Whether it's you writing down your goals and looking at them, looking back at them and checking them off. What I do is I journal. What I've seen with journaling is that, like, in the moment when I'm journaling, I'm just, you know, I might be venting or I'm just releasing thoughts in the moment. But when I look back in my journal and I read some of the entries that I got, it's things that I forgot that I was going through that I see, you know, when I look back, and it's like, oh, okay, I was dealing with XYZ at the time, and I totally forgot about it. That's something that I went through that I forgot about. And that's another thing, like, you're going to see that, and that's just going to reinforce that you have more potential than you thought. You can get through anything, you know, no matter how big, no matter how small. You know, you're going to realize that, yo, you got the potential to do anything, and that you've been through shit in the past and that you got through it. That's going to reinforce that. So you've been through something in the past that you've gotten through. It might not be the same type of thing, or it may not be big as it is now, or you may not feel as negative as this feels, but you've been through some stuff in the past and you've gotten through it. And so track your progress. And what that's going to do is going to help you, you know, stack your wins, stack your small wins. Is going to build that momentum for you to keep going. Now, leaning into your goals, it isn't just about being productive and getting things done. It's about rebuilding your self-worth and regaining control of your life, because when things happen to us that we deem negative, we tend to dwell in those negative emotions, you know, and that's really what's not good. Dwelling in those negative emotions is what keeps us stuck. What you want to do is, if something that you deem negative happens to you in life, like you feel the emotion. Of course, you're going to feel it. We're human. Feel the emotion and let it go as soon as possible, because if you dwell in that emotion, it's just going to drag you down and it's going to put you in a dark place if you continue to hold on to that. It's like, have you ever met somebody that's always negative and always has some shit going on in their life, and they're miserable on the inside, and you know they're miserable, and they kind of just want you to be in that misery with them? That's a person who hasn't released those emotions. They just dwell in those negative emotions instead of taking accountability for their life and releasing the emotions. They just dwell in it. It's kind of what they thrive off of that negative energy, so to speak. And that's not where you want to be, because that's just going to keep you in a cycle. That's going to manifest more negativity in your life because you're dwelling in that negative energy. You want to release those negative feelings and negative energy. You want to take accountability for your life. Because if you're going through something, you're stuck. Most of the time, 9 times out of 10, you created that. You really did. You indirectly or directly, you had something to do with it. Now, there are times when things happen to us that are out of our control, or they may seem out of our control. But if you really dig deep, you created most of the quote unquote negative things that happen to you in your life, and that's fine. All you got to do is don't dwell in that and release it, and that's how you move on. So once you deal with it on the emotional level, you release it, you start to look for the positive solutions and how you can course correct, right? And so where was I kind of got off track, but let me see. So leaning into your goals is not just about being productive. It's about rebuilding your confidence and regaining control of your life. And so to make it sustainable, to build that resilience, like I said, you might want to start journaling. You might want to start hanging out with more uplifting people, consuming more uplifting content such as books and podcasts. Prioritize self-care. Most of the time when we're in the grind, well, a lot of the time when we're in the grind, we tend to neglect our self-care, and we neglect our sleep, we neglect our exercise, we don't eat right. And so make sure you're prioritizing your self-care for the future so you won't get in the rut, man. Those things, even like sunlight, getting out, getting fresh air, getting sunlight, those things do wonders for your mental health and for your physical health. And another thing I would say is be kind to yourself. We all make mistakes. Don't beat yourself up over mistakes. Don't beat yourself up over taking L's. We all take L's. Learn from them, course correct, and bounce back in the future. What else? Don't let depression define you, man. We all get in these spots where we get in these ruts. Like things happen out of our control a lot of the times, or things happen to knock us off course and cause us to have setbacks. And sometimes our instincts is, why me? When we feel like we get in these dark places, we feel like we're going through shit by ourselves, and we feel alone, and we feel like things won't change. But it's gonna change. It'll change. As long as you don't dwell in that energy, your life will change. Once you start moving, you'll realize that you're not stuck. You have the power to change your life. All you got to do is take it one step at a time, one action at a time, and that'll shift your momentum for the better. And so with that said, that's all I got, man. It's art versus arteria. It's you versus you. So do what you got to do to make your life the best it can be. And I'm out until next time. Peace.